Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing okay. I try not to clack around a cough drop in my mouth too much. So we're going to be doing uh, this Viking upon request. I believe it or not, I had a rough time finding something Viking-esque that wasn't just complete crap or something that I couldn't work with. But we found one, so hey. This was actually a two-part sketch by Paul Abrams called Axemen. And I decided to rip one of the images out. There it is. So that's what it was originally. It looked like these were just sketches. I don't know if you ever went on to do anything with them or not. But the one on the left hand side here seemed to fit the Viking theme a little more than this other guy. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and start messing around with it and see where we go. Experiment with some different brushes and stuff. I think I'm going to clean up the line art a little bit just because it is so sketchy that there's some, spots in here that are kind of driving me nuts just to look at. Hi, Ashley. I'm just going to come in here on the ink layer and just clean it up just a little bit. I don't want to spend forever doing this. I don't care if it looks pristine or not. All the color is going to hopefully distract from all the little bits of line marks anyhow. We may do something fun for the background. I don't know. A woman I work with, she's a work friend. Her name is Sean. Her and her husband have been marathoning the show Vikings. And she was like, "You need to find me a nice Viking man." So that's kind of how I went down this path, which is also cool because later this week we're actually going to a Viking themed party. So it all just kind of, the stars just aligned and it was time. It was time to do the Viking. Get a few of the wispies around the hair here too. Like I said, I'm not trying to clean this up too much. I'm not worried about it being pristine. I just want to make it just a little more bearable to look at. I tend to get spoiled by all these really good comic book line artists. So when I come across someone who sketches or, you know, has a painterly style, sometimes it gets a little rough to look at. Again, I'm just on the ink layer, going in with the lasso tool here on fill mode with transparency. And that's all I'm doing, just to tighten it up. I did put the flats out for everybody. If anyone decides that they want to color along with me, they can. Message me on Facebook or email. We can bring it up here on the live stream and talk about it. Or even if you just have questions about my process, you're always welcome to hop in the chat and we can talk about it. If there's ever any subject matter or you have any questions about my style or how I do certain things, shoot me a message or leave a post on my page and maybe we'll do a video about it. There we go. That's good enough for me. Just tidy it up just a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring our flats in. I am not too sure on the colors I'm using here. I think maybe we'll darken this up and see what we get. Bring it to a near black maybe. It might be a little too oh. There we go. I get to experiment around a little bit with this as well, just because there are some shading happening here. And, this area, Been trying to look at new techniques for doing stuff like coloring on top of or under, depending on things that have like gray washes and stuff like that. So we'll just kind of bounce around and see where we land, see how it goes. Interesting. Okay. I think these colors are going to be good enough. Yeah, it's a cool looking axe. It's mean looking. I'm going to go ahead and grab a shadow color. I like to just go in and just do very neutral, just 50 across the board on the CMYK. Select our silhouette, go up to a multiply layer, and just drop that in. And then later we can go back and mess around with actual shadow color, but this gives us a good neutral base to start from. I usually like to drop it down to about 70% or so as well. Come in on our shadow layer. We'll just start removing some of that shadow to reveal our light. I am using a different brush today, just kind of messing around with some textures. See if we can come up with some interesting vibes on this. What's nice about a sketch or a drawing like this is the muscles are very well defined, so it's very easy to go in and actually just select the shape of the muscle itself and carve in that light right to that muscle shape. You don't have to really guess where it's at or anything like that. Paul Abrams here has a pretty clear understanding of anatomy. I'm just going in and just chunking in that light, not being very precious with it right yet. We'll come back in, smooth things out, and redefine things as we go. Just trying to get our forms in here, get those all defined. Interesting brush for texture, though. When we get into some of these spots here, we'll just come back in and just use the blending tool. Just kind of soften some of the transitions between some of the muscle groups. Maybe drag in a little bit of that shadow underneath some of the muscle there. Veins on his arm. I'll try and come in and add some highlights to those. Really make them pop. Make them look extra veiny. We'll come in when we go to do our highlights and really get some shine on all of that. Dude is ripped. You said it. I am liking the texture on this brush, though. Especially for this sketchy style of well, sketch. I've been looking around for some brushes with texture that I actually like. I tend to have a more smoother brush that I like to use, and it always gives my stuff a more like animated or very comic book feel, which is fine and it has its place, but texture is good. Yeah, it definitely does make it feel more like a skin texture because your skin has all those imperfections and pockmarks and scars and little hairs and all sorts of stuff. Again, all I'm doing in this phase is just removing shadow. I've already put down some flat colors. I put a layer shadow over everything and I'm just removing the shadow. Go ahead and start messing with his face here. Go ahead and select his hair. And up the hair, since we do have, your hair is just strands of hair laid on top of each other, laid on top of each other, and laid on top of each other. What I like to do is I like to have my flat layer of hair, and then I throw the shadow on it, and then we go in and remove the shadow in the same way we've been doing, except I have found some fantastic brushes that I like that do some of that work for me. And again, all I'm doing is just removing shadow. Come into the spots where I might have some more highlights. Just remove a little more shadow. Just like that, without too much work, you have hair. Struggled with hair. I'm still always learning, but I struggled with hair for a very long time just because how do you go in and get all those individual strands and stuff like that, and everyone has their own technique and advice, and this is what I found works for me. And it allows me to just kind of quickly go in and just bust out some hair. And since you have your flat layer and you have your shadow layer, you're getting color variance in there. Select those bracers. Now, rather than using texture for these bracers, I think I'm going to go in with a regular soft round brush that I normally like to use. Hit it with that. And the same with the axe itself. Stick with that soft round brush. Hmm. Coming on this thigh. little bit. Lots of fun and interesting textures going on here. Like it a lot. Let's see. So the lighting here, even them being outdoor and in the snow and all that, should be pretty bright. But I also don't want to wash away any color, or as little as I can. So we might need to play around here a little bit with the highlights and see where we land. Like if we go with this, color that would match our environment, just washes out so much. Now we can kind of, maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe we'll switch to more of like a nighttime kind of scene. We could do that. Contrast with all the orange yellows that we have going on with some blue greens. Maybe do that. That might look kind of cool. Yeah, maybe we'll go that route. We're just kind of bouncing around the place here. Just trying to see what might work. think that might do. Keep it at about 30% opacity for the amount of light hit him. So it's not washing him out too much, but it also gives us a little more room to kick in some brighter highlights on some of this stuff. I'm just going in on a real simple glow layer. I'm just using that to drop in some of these extra highlights on some of this metal, just to see if we can't get it to pop a little more. Push back some of that line work. I mean, just coming across a little too overbearing for me. Same on the gauntlets here, the bracers. Just pushing back just a little. I'm just moving up into his shoulder here, into his muscles. Touching a few of those spots where we might get some more highlights. And I may end up pulling quite a few of these back because you don't want to draw too much attention. But we're just kind of bouncing around. Yeah, and I think that's because the light that I chose to use plus the highlights. That's why I'm going to try and kick them down a notch, I think, here in a minute. I look a little better. There's some little pops of color in his hair there a little bit. Before I get myself too lost, let's go ahead and label your layers. Label your layers. Alright, I'm cruising along on this. Trying to take my time, kind of play around, try some new things, but definitely liking the direction we're heading here. I think we'll mess around with some background elements, maybe make it look like it's snowing. Uh, who knows? Who knows? Maybe add some trees in the background. I really don't know. Definitely got to add some clouds. That's for sure. It's kind of crazy to look at that without the ink layer there. Wild. Wild. Let's see what. It's about midway point. I usually take a quick 5-minute break, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. When we come back, we'll just keep plugging along and mess around and see what we come up with. We'll be right back. everybody, I am back. I think we're going to go in and add just a little bit of glow, like a gleam to the edge of that axe, maybe. I don't know. Thank you. Welcome back. Hey, Dorian, what's up, dude? Nah, we'll skip that. Maybe we'll go ahead and do some clouds. Maybe look like it's snowing or something. I didn't think it would go by this quick, but it's going by quick tonight. Yeah, doing all right, man. Doing all right. And, well, we'll do a motion blur on this because the wind is clearly blowing in from a direction. I think we'll call those the background snow. Then we might come back and do a real thin layer of snow in the foreground as well. It's definitely adding some atmosphere. Definitely makes it feel cold. Ooh, speaking of making it feel cold, maybe we'll try and add some cool breath or something like that. Let's mess around with that real quick. That might be neat. It might not even be worth it. You might not really be able to see it. No, I don't think that's adding anything of value. Maybe if we keep it real subtle. Yeah, we'll try that. Why not? I'm going to put a nice little fog layer down on the bottom. Some more bits of snow in the foreground. That's looking pretty killer if I do say so myself. Yeah, I agree. The the breath is definitely lost in the sauce. But that's okay. Man, I just might have to find something to do to kill some time here tonight, guys. It's all right. Maybe we'll see about painting some. Maybe throw a unicorn in the back there somewhere. Maybe do some trees off in the distance or what might look like trees or something. Narwhal. The unicorn of the ocean. Yeah, look cool. Some real faint, just the idea of some trees, I think, might look neat. Just like push them real far back, real far back. That way you know there's stuff going on back there, but you can't quite make it out. Oh, that's not the brush I wanted. Let's try that. Just go ahead and hit on a few more highlights. Just real soft spots. Just hit some random strands of hair here and there. Just catch the light. Keep it interesting. Not a whole lot. I think that looks pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Oh, hey, April. Hey, thank you. Happy anniversary, by the way. Yeah, I just wanted to make that eye just pop out just a little bit more. So I just hit it just a little bit. Just a little bit. Gleam on that axe. What was that? Let's see. I love the weather effects here. The dude is clearly a badass. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we're going deep on this one. Layers upon layers. Fog in the foreground, different layers of snow, hints of trees in the background. Oh yeah. The 3D feel is real. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, the forms there are definitely there. It almost feels very like old school, like Frank Frazetta or Boris Vallejo, uh, those kind of guys, especially because the sketchy feel and um, the textured brush that I used for this, which I am just in love with. Um, came out. This is coming out feeling just really cool, really cool. So I should probably do the artist's signature justice and uncover the effect that layer threw on there. Threw a little glint on that blade. This might sound like a dull compliment, but the color and shadows on the pants are really good. You could almost told me that it's part of a photo. Oh, well, thank you. I don't think that's a dull compliment at all. Actually, speaking of, we should go back to that shadow layer. And mess around a touch with the color of the shadow because I think I want to do a little more bluish hue. And I think that blue shadow feels a lot better. Mm. I'm going to mess around with that layer of trees again. I like the idea of it. Maybe I just don't like the execution I had. Oh, hope I was on the right layer. I think that looks better. Yeah, that looks cool. I'm digging it. Well, now where do we go, gang? You know, we kind of did a lot. Yeah, thanks. I think the trees added depth as well. I just didn't like the first execution. You know, there was this one brush that I had grabbed to mess around with, and I never did. I think it was an effects brush that I think was just like lightning or something goofy like that. When I do lightning and stuff, I tend to do my own lightning, but uh, it looked interesting. I just gotta find it. Oh, that looks sick. That was just an accident. I just kind of scribbled, but dude, so cool. Hmm. Now he's like a magic ice Viking, right? Totally. I hear Valhalla calling. I'm not sure if I like the blue or the yellow. I think I just kind of like the yellow. If I start bringing it a little in towards white, that might look kind of cool. Mm. Ooh, that might win. That adds a lot of contrast. Very magical. Very magical. Didn't really mean to add like a fantasy element to it, but I kind of don't want to go back because I like it. What up, Tim? Yeah, it's a yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'm hoping to stop by tomorrow and check out what he's been working on and work polish up the last little bit of my stuff. Ooh, I'll have to keep that in mind. Just going a minute and then going in and messing with like the different layer modes. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Well, we gotta. Forgot to record a time lapse. Ah, that's annoying. I keep doing that to myself. Oh yeah, what? That's cool. What'd you do for the metallic coat? Did you use paint? Yeah, I do, but you know how she could be. Chrome spray over with black plastic dip. Nice. I bet that thing sings, especially with the black undercoat. I'm just trying to be better about using if I use the time lapse that's built into Clip Studio Paint. Whenever I do a screen rotate or zoom in and out, it removes all that and just keeps it static, which is a lot easier to watch than if I do a time lapse based off of the live stream where I'm like ripping and editing because then it zooms in and gets crazy. super shiny, but I think I can take some browns and blacks and dirty it right up. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. It won't take much. It'll be fun. All right. Well, I think we're done. About a half hour early. Hey, producer, did you get a better gig? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're needy. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. I'm glad you made it by, Dorian. Yeah, this one was really cool. Really cool. Maybe we'll go in and see about giving this guy some tattoos of some sort. Interesting. I think we'll keep him in. I kind of like it. Well, gang, I think we're done. I think we're done. I don't know that I can add anything else to this. Getting to the point where if I continue to add stuff to it, I'm just gonna turn it into an abomination. Which some could argue I've already done that by adding the lightning and the, you know, tattoos. But I don't care. It's pretty wild to think of where it came from, though. That's for sure. I wouldn't mind throwing that up here real quick, just to get a comparison. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. To go from this sketch to that, it's pretty wild. This one came out really cool. Really, really cool. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I dig it a lot. It's crazy. That's why I like to say, I breathe life into other people's line work, cuz damn, if that isn't what I just did. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it there. It's a little bit early, but yeah, I got nothing. So we're going to go ahead and just wrap it up. Uh, Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a good night.